What I have here is one of the speakers with one slot vacant, and I just insert any panel in there, just sit it in there, make it tight, and I try to measure its resonance. I did try having a panel in an empty speaker, such as this one, but I found it was a bit inconsistent, so I decided to put it in a speaker that was mostly filled. The reason I thought was that the panel needs a certain amount of baffling around it, and rather than the microphone picking up the sound from everywhere, including off the diaphragm. And I think it helps a little bit. Here's this side of the speaker. There's the speaker providing the sound, the amplifier, and the front. Here we have the microphone, which is a calibrated microphone that I've had for many years. Here is an example of a panel that I'm going to sit in the speaker. I'm only using half of the panel, only the half of the panel with the diaphragm on it. There's no point in having the complete panel together. The other half just gets in the way. So I just sit it in there. And depending how tight it is, if it's a bit loose in there, I'll put a screw there and a screw here just to hold it steady. But that's not too bad. Right, so I try to place the microphone close to the diaphragm in the center of the largest area possible, somewhere like that. That's about 2 millimeters away from the diaphragm. Right, here is a panel from my 93 models. Now, when measuring before, I was getting 2 peaks, and I couldn't understand why. So I just took the measurements and basically wrote down 2 peaks for each panel. However, I had trouble with getting the audio to work into the computer this morning, so I ended up bypassing the Praxis USB box. In truth, I don't need it for using the Home Impulse program, so I just used the audio USB made by M Audio, and it's called a Transit. And all of a sudden I started getting peaks, as I would expect. So it's quite possible that my Praxis USB box is putting in a hump of its own or causing other irregularities. Anyway, a problem for another day. But so I'm back to hopefully getting good measurements. And as you can see from this graph, there's the peak with the panel in between the speaker and the microphone, and the other graph, the red one, is with the panel removed, and you can obviously see that there's a peak there, so that gives me a lot more confidence that what I'm doing here is actually working. The next step that I would have done would be to actually power up each panel individually using one of the empty speakers and measure the response out of it without doing this passive method. But now this passive method seems to work quite okay, so thank goodness for small mercies. So now I will go through them all again and collate that information. Right. This one has a peak of 81 Hertz. All of my original 1994 speakers seem to be 83 to 85, so consistent.